Chapter 3. Betrayal and Obedience. Samuel was quiet for a moment, and it appeared as if he had started talking to himself. They were more separate than unit, he said, pointing at Cush. Let me say this. These United States we live in was divided in every respect of the word. They were divided by the color of their skin, race, financial status, religion, and political parties. Back in the days, they had some full running for President was slugging ways make him refrigerate again. Our people were asking, when was it great for us? The United States itself had been called the divided states of America, because even the division was divided, and the division, on would great, cast its downfall. Cush looked at Samuel, and he lied, sorry, son, just take a good look. How fat people were it were with skinny, dark thin versus with skinned, rich versus the poor. Samuel mutters. Verse waves. But never meant it for now. Samuel leaned back in his chair, and pointed at Cush, lean back and rest, son, we got a lot to tell. Yeah. As he continued, this was before they made his bubble cities, but it wasn't until King Joseph of Ireland, the Campkin fifth word Wakatilians was first mentioned in modern history books. Now don't misunderstand, we got away from having authority figures like kings, queens, presidents, and all fed during the Latin Korean War, or some would call it World War I. Samuel waved his hands in the air carelessly, but all King Joseph was the great-grandson of some in war was of the so-called royal family back in the days, and it is something extra special too, or for Abenians to reclaim the title. Anyways, more King Joseph was just a simple Kompyutan. Samuel said with his fingers up to Marian quotes, before saying, he had a special name, and said in fact he was number one in fact an of authority offer. Then he sound. They also knew him as a cold-hearted, self-centered, arrogant, narcissistic, illogical, and drunken whoremonger, and any other negative term you can find. Until he met you from the clan of Kumori, it was often said that he wasn't the brightest light in the room, if you know what you mean. Cush said, no, they don't. Samuel shook his head, it means, he wasn't too bright. But she, on the other hand, was a strong Wakatilian woman who demanded respect and never settled for anything less. She was the total opposite of her oldest sister, Dala, a concubine enslaved by Koth, who was already in King Joseph's palace. She was the queen of Ireland for 3 years, give or take a couple of months, when she was murdered as the first wife of King Joseph and given the title of richest maiden peer of Ireland. Samuel became animate. Cush lighted at Samuel, as they talked in European dialect, and Samuel smiled back at him. You see, in ancient England, they had a system whereby your inheritance gave you a special position. This inheritance classified you as being royalty of King Joseph adopted the same system when he came into power. Samuel scratched his head. Or was it his father? Anyways, King Joseph is a new youngster. They brought back the system, but they did before King Joseph's death. However, their marriage and her execution made her a historical figure in the first political and religious people that led to the Kompyutans separating from Abenian authority and rule. She was the daughter of Shek and his wife Lizzie. Lizzie was from southern Ireland, a proud descendant of the Twa tribe. Che wasn't her real name. Her real name was Ine, but everyone called her Che. For further references, you can call her Queen Ine, the first. We'll get to her to later. Samuel passed, see, back then, the Abenians, however young, saw Wakatilians isn't for and is nothing more than property. So, you can imagine how they felt. About Queen Che, a Wakatilian woman who was now married to their king. Things were never easy for Queen Che, she had to endure countless attempts on her life, including an assassination attempt by her own sister, Ila. Queen Che had to be vigilant and virtuous at all times, but despite all the dangers and difficulties, she remained a strong and influential leader. Cush listened intently to Samuel's story, fascinated by the rich history and struggle stuff his sister had endured. As Samuel continued his tale, Cush felt a deep sense of pride in his authority and the legacy of his people. And the road ahead would not be easy, but he was inspired by the resiliency and determination of his people, and he was ready to carry in for the legacy of unity and equality for all people. Samuel pulled off his postal and rested his legs. The story goes, King Joseph often made a trip to sovereign Roland to replenish his cabins with fresh fruits, herbs, homemade beers, and fine liquors. He met and fell madly in love with her, not caring that she was Wakatilian. Because as always, it was against the law to marry on. He could have had her as a slave, but he wanted her love. So, he began pursuing her, but sources to this item still says her and she defined all of the Abenians concubine, because her dreams were to become an influential leader of her people. She rejected all his advancements and respectfully confronted the king. It's on became an objective King Joseph's desire to change his womanly ways, to Morichi. Samuel Paso. Let me stop right there. You can't make a hoe into a husband. In this case, a husband forsook knew all he ways, but ignored the signs. He had already been with her sister. But anyway, it was stiff at the Chen. Hell, he didn't know. What would have to ask her? Plus, Sabaoth had his hand into the decision, or else, you and won't be her. However, when it became clear to the Abenian Althea-Hasost, and all the Abenian who governs this section of the world, that King Joseph was trained to marry Wakatilian, all who broke laws. He'd made a fair engagement and, or else if they would separate themselves from the people of Otherland, leaving them to fend for themselves. This red didn't say do well with the king, and out of right anger and contempt toward the Abenians, King Joseph married. She made her a queen, and granted her the tale of the great maiden of Otherland. Shortly afterward, Abenian Althea-Hasost decreed sentences of excommunication against King Joseph and his inter-territory. Because of his marriage and his excommunications, the official broke off treaties with the Kompyutans. After being crowned Queen of Otherland, she gave birth to Queen Ine, the first, almost a year later. Back then, men always wanted their firstborn to be boys, and her gender disappointed him. It did not entirely discourage him, for his son was sorely following protestal of his daughter Ine. Until a royal baby was born, Queen Evelyn, King Joseph's mother, along with governors and generals of each Commonwealth nation, was informed along with the rest of the royal family and his family as well. Many despised the child, Tabor abomination, but feared the birth of king, but there was chosen the streets, by this time, because people started feeling the effects of not having the Abenians technology, or its advantages. Samuel stopped for a moment. Billy, can you explain the Sully's birth ceremony? Billy then said, why is it silly? These were your customs and practices. They probably think that your Sabaoth is a fairy tale, and they do basur. According to your customs, our physician signs an official document confirming the newborn's gender, weight, and birth time. A palace official will bring this document out of the hospital, and this is the first thing he would will defend the royal baby has heard. And it's then handed to a messenger who will take it to the palace under door. They put the notice into a frame at the palace, positioned in an easel and placed in the palace forecourt. A victim of blood will know the gender of the baby. However, it could take anywhere from up to 8 days, before the new baby's name is announced. After the announcement, a brief statement by the king of child's birth was at the hospital. Samuel interrupted Billy, yuck now, you're probably right about your statement, you just made. But ik now. Wait ik now, sen what ik now and thought wait ik now about Sabaoth. It's wait fake now, so you will take me statement back, about it being silly, it's your traditions. Traditions of men hand down for generations. Anyways, thanks, I got it from her. Billy said, you're welcome. Samuel continues, at hospital, the king made his announcement of the child. Although they were at the ceremony, his parents were supposed to be there with the royal family. But because they were Wakatilians, they were standing in the back of the crowd. They meant a silver pennies to mark the royal birth. Samuel pulled a silver penny out of his pocket, and handed it to Cush, like this one. The king suddenly resounded celebratory again salutis, in the royal park with Arba and round salute, and again by the honorable Ardali the tower furled with a salulet round. Salute. In keeping with their traditions, it is said that when she left the royal hospital, they burned her sheds, because she was Wakatilian. Seher. appeared on the steps of the building with her newborn as the crowd locked in the ceremony last 4 days before Ch's family was to head back home. Ch's father, Shaka, approached her with tears in his eyes. He will return in 8 months to take the baby and perform the family ceremonies in the Holy of Holies. Don't let anyone know, not even your Uncle Mel. Do not let her know, where the baby or him because it is of great importance to Sabaoth, fact no one knows her whereabouts. You will find out where he have his to do such requests later. You also need all documents of her birth and to silver pennies. She smiled. It is so. After 8 months, Shaka showed up at the palace and without enormous she had everything he asked for. He didn't stay for long enough to see the king and she never saw her daughter again. 3. Mr. Reed is followed and King Joseph returned to his old ways of having orgies and entertaining other women. The king's love for Che was gone, and so was his loyalty to her. He also heard nothing said he asked about his daughter, Anaya. Shaking his head, Samuel repeated himself, nothing's. By this time, the full effects of the Abenians' absence caused several unrestrained violent effect to cover the land. Soon after, she was taken and shared with a treason and sent to Hades guard in Ireland by her accusers. She was tried before a jury of peers, including her former betrothed and her Uncle Mel. Like I told you before, everyone who is your family and your family. The court proceedings were long and intense, with both sides presenting fair arguments and evidence. In the end, when she was found guilty of a treason, adultery, inciting a coup, witchcraft, and a bunch of offenses according to old Ireland laws and sentenced to life imprisonment in the Romanian and mountains. King Joseph gave them by the verdict and didn't even try to appeal to the Abenians for clemency. However, the king's reputation was tarnished, and lost much of his support among the people of old Ireland. Again, he didn't care. After a formal apostasy party in front of the citizens with all the balloons and whistles by King Joseph, old Ireland was punished for fewer sins, but eventually united with the Abenians and again. To show the Abenians their loyalty, his service work bread in series the head days. Later, Cush had forgotten he held the silver penny in his hand as he handed it back to Samuel. Wow, the Abenians saw the ideas. But hey, Samuel said, yes, they do, you will find out. Just wait. Remember, like always, and I'll say it again, history repeats itself. Martha interrupted him when she entered the living room with some first squeeze lemonade. Her, old man, y'all gonna need something to drink with all the talking y'all doing. Samuel smiled, thanks, I sure do. Taking a drink, Samuel smacked his lips as Martha handed Cush a slice. Samuel continued, this rang true for the Wakatilians of Ireland. He passed, Martha, this her lemonade is something else. Martha smiled, thanks babe. Samuel continued as he smacked his lips again, like he said, this rang true for the Wakatilians of Ireland, and the levy in Ireland was cruel toward the Wakatilians. For the next 2 years after Ch's death, the Abenians took revenge to Wakatilians. Because of rights he had done. The silver pennies were thrown out, but the Wakatilians found them and kept them for themselves. It was so bad that they started immigrating to the Americas as a way to get out. But even that wasn't a joyful event because the were Wakatilians. They could not travel to a Kompyutan state. And on top of that, the Kompyutans started spreading rumors that they carried contagious diseases. Kompyutans are desperate Anakataas to settlement overseeable success in inter-servants to the Americas for presently year servitude. As it's so lucrative, the cost increased every year as the immigrants were scheduled out the country. The first servants imported into the Americas were just a few hundred Wakatilians promising to send for their relatives afterward. They referred to these laborers as servants, not as slaves, because many agreed to work for land and race. Little did they know, it was just empty promises and straight plays. Samuel continued, indentured servants were slaves as it has always been since the unjust matters. And let's not forget what happened to Liberte, after the murder of Muammar al-Gaddafi. Slavery plus to any person bought and sold, chained and abused, whether for a year, additional of victim. Over the years, many Wakatilians long before their indentured service ended. Thus you would make it, worried in it their freedom. Though you think the estate system would have held them. There was no estate system, no court of law, just 10 minutes on. While wild back them when fair owners failed to deliver on fair promises. Abenians. Eden fix emulsions of settled convicts, BRs, homeless and other undesirable Wakatilians were transported to Amharic against fair wall and slave ships. Once fed money get to Anakataas. It was free for all. Fast slugs will volunteer did so only because they can fear following well involved the more powerful, disease and person. From the Kompyutans and Abenians because of Q&A, the first. They were stuck in an island with nowhere to go, Amharic became their dream. These ships were irritated of the trans-American slave trade. They were so crowded and in terrible conditions that many didn't feel way to Americas. When as the ships were docking, they some learned that living in America would be a battle for survival. And Jesus runners saw a lot of rocks of grey men swarmed aboard the ship before they called out, grabbing them and forcing them to 10 houses. Faith and bought charging outrageous fee for their services. Some of them had to settle in ports they arrived in, begging in every street corner. Samuel passed as a finish of his lemonade, unfamiliar with plumbing and running water, let alone technology. These living conditions, bread. Sickness and premature death. They estimated that 75% of all infants born to flourish Wakatilians imminency. They were ridiculed for what they said, for being poor and illiterate. Instead of apologizing for themselves, they unwitted and took offense. They often met insult or intimidation with violence. Solidarity was their strength. They helped on and offer sword with this life. They prayed and drank together. The men sent out more drinking than praying, yet their faith and determination led them to create the Sabaoth first in all of the Americas. It was a militant church, a court that fight not only for fair cells, but also for fair human rights. During this time, one of the greatest Wakatilians came on this scene, Abooksigun. White man's, Wakat, from the clan of Sabaoth, the son of Wanyenyekevu and Wanyenyekevu, the first. Your grandfather, the man from the side of Nowhere, some called him. Cush looked at Samuel, father said of Nowhere. Samuel. Just smelled, they all did into that later, just now it was a young man, a few years older than you, we ain't hear of. But he grew into a man of significant influential became the reason and fortune that when all Wakatilians in the parts. They united and destroyed, all not faithful Abenian demand her, bested. He understood that the Kompyutans and the Abenians were the enemies. They were trying to force you people to destroy any offer because of geographical locations, fat, skin color and tongues, and of religious reasons and Abooksigun wanted all Wakatilians, Anakataas, and even Kompyutans in a desong. He even served death for Kompyutans in the process. Abooksigun was our ancestor. Who was born in Arizona. Patton first said about the separation and destruction of Wakatilians because his father, Wanyenyekevu, taught him about his history in different cultures as a whole. Then the son of Wanyenyekevu, the first who was half Kompyutan and half Wakatilian, they nicknamed them men and look half breed and half offers but they called themselves Mestizos. And that so that name came at Obi. The Mestizos were in a feed forts, that was an exceptional group of people who were well trained and tired of war created by Sabaoth himself called pointed the organs of God, but he was also well trained and tired of peace. By this time, many Mestizos were very well respected and feared in the West. The Mestizos were created when his father, Shaka, was visited by a servant of Sabaoth a few months before his death named was. Cush interrupted Samuel, before he could finish, Daddy. Samuel said, Yes son, the Samuel. Cush asks, How old is he? Samuel said, When Sabaoth said, Let us create a man in Aramaic. It was Moise and Messiah, who was speaking to. Cush leaned back in his chair, as Samuel continued, Moise told Sectos and an aid of him riches read before him offers did to his brother's land, whereas the latter married Wanyenyekevu. However, it was told to her uncle Mel, that Arangid Abenian murdered her, as they obeyed the word of Sabaoth. Shaka didn't go himself, but sent his bravest warriors to a reservation in the western part of the Americas in the town of Tucson, Louisiana. It was there she will meet Wanyenyekevu, a Wakatilian warrior, a Louisiana prince who came into Louisiana seeking the power and glory of Sabaoth. Samuel continued with his story, telling Cush about how the Wakatilians eventually formed their own nations, and each nation separated into clans and refers the term, Wakatilians. The nations were founded on the principles of unity, equality, and just as flawless the apple, regardless of their background. The nations thrived and prospered, and it became a beacon of hope and inspiration for all oppressed people around form. Samuel looked at Cush and saw that his eastward becoming heavy. That's enough for today, and it got enough track. Anyways, do the dear some rest, and do well continue tomorrow. Cush got up the following day and did his chores around house hustle, rushing to his grandfather's house. Skipped breakfast, because he knew by may always prepare the feast whenever she cooked. He ran to his grandfather's house less than a quarter of a mile, went to a south front door. For it was as if for the fence had ran along the pathway. His old Jimena standing for staring at him. Smiling and waving, "Good morning, Jimena." Horse stumped his off into the brown ends of his hair. Cush was excited and smiled as he got closer to his grandfather's door. Samuel's stories were so vivid and clear to Cush, as if he caused its characters in real life and in real time. Knocking into the door, he was met by his little cousins, Cliff, nicknamed Switz, Adran, was a nickname Waste Bebaba. Cliff was 5 years old and the oldest. Of the two brothers, but wherever you saw Cliff, you saw Ron running behind him. Cliff had filler cracked open and a delicious aroma came rushing out that had Cush's mouth watering. Ron throws open the door to he stepped away, standing in the middle of the doorway. "How is it? Wait you went," said Ron, blocking Cush from entering the house. "It's Cush," said Cliff. "Little boy, get in here with no Cliff his son." It was Mama Sock, baby's best friend, grabbing Ron by the hand and mobbed him out at the A. "Good morning, Mama Sock," Cush said. Mama Sock smiled. "Good morning, child." "Hello, boy," came out of the kitchen, Switz. "What did I tell you about opening that fear door?" "Sock, bring that neck this boy here." "I'm so tired of telling that boy the same thing." Hearing Baby's boss in a stern voice, was at that door, fist him of the morning. "Cush says, morning Baby, it's me." Recognizing his voice, Baby says, "Oh, hey Cush," before you and Samuel were talking. "Get Baba and you and Switz come on in and wash up. Breakfast will be ready in about 10 minutes." Samuel was at the table drinking coffee and listening to some recordings. Past the recording, "Good morning, Cush." Cush smiled, "Morning, Daddy." Samuel smiled back, sat down, and drank a cup of coffee with him. "Bide me overheard the conversation, Samuel. Don't you give it by no coffee. How do running around her, like a chicken with his head cut off?" Samuel winked at Cush. "Who's you fist? Bah, you ain't gonna give it by no coffee," as the secretary tarred a little. Coffee in his satter and passed it to Cush, saying, "A little coffee and never hurt nobody." Samuel smiled at Cush, as he called out, "Baby bro. Come here." Ron came running. Samuel took a long break from his favorite King Edward's hair, that was resting in a tray and blowing his smoke into Ron's hair. "Your hair is unfair, Baby bro." Samuel said as he showed Ron a small mirror. Ron ran out screaming and blushing. By Matan yelled out, "Y'all come and get some tea." A word said in this part segment, something to eat. As soon as he spoke those words, the entire house seemed to shake as a crowd from out of nowhere came rushing in from every direction. The youngest sat and flogged with fear back against the cabinet, making it for people to pass through. Eldest sat at the table, and Samuel walked out speaking and handed him a plate. "Go get your plate and made me and mystery," Samuel told Cush. Samuel pulls out a stand for Cush to eat and Cush placed his plate in the stand and he said grace. Cush looked at his plate and didn't know where to start. Eggs, bacon, deer sausages, grits, homemade biscuits, and a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice. The entire house was quiet. All I could hear was the sound of spoons and forks fed into plates and glasses being placed back on the tables or floor. After they ate, Samuel gave Cush his plate, take it to the kitchen, tell your grandmother, thanks, and hurry back. Cush rushed back and took a seat in Samuel's favorite chair as Samuel sat in small love-set topping for a bit as everyone had chores to do, from the youngest to the oldest. Their duties included washing the dishes, cleaning the garden, feeding the animals, and washing clothes. Fill the son's coffee youngest, then Cush said nervously, "Dan Daddy, I have a poem for you." Samuel looked up at Cush, You just now telling me. Well, go ahead. Cush smiled. He was waiting for me cousin stood it gone. Cush cleared his throat. Got this strange feeling. It feels as if many folks that felt good is some biology and great man, sitting in a front. Fate alone is a hoax, for his spirit and truth. Yet the fame judging your every mouth, a hairless man, who calls himself God, Fate calls himself love. May God search his heart. May God cradle his love for you. What is the true definition of love? What is this? Fate you've been told, what all you facilities? Fate many don't believe in God. No, they don't believe in him because of this. I got some God news for ya. That's not the truth for ya. Close your ears. Do it right now, close your ears, go back in time. When you went up to see, Granddaddy. Papa Joe, or Old Man Hamp. Yep know his name, yep not your name's your grandfather. God is like your grandfather, God is like Granddaddy, Papa Joe, and Old Man Hamp. How loves you, and you feel his love. It's not artificial or demo. He'll tell you, watch yourself. Be careful he'll tell you the truth about yourself, when like no one else. He'll tell you, they won't do that if it were you. Or simply, no. If we listen to his voice, of course, God is like your grandfather. Did you did special privileges and treat like queens? Yeah, no way do you mean. The boys did all the things that federals can't do, and never modern father has a word to say. Your grandfather is talking, and they are listening good is like a grandfather. You feel the love, you feel the pain from the punishments that you gain. Your grandfather is a good example. It is as plain as can be. Easy for you to see what God's love is meant to be. Cause God is like your grandfather.